Home Depot acquiring SRS Distribution for $18.25 billion. SRS is a leading building products distributor that supplies professionals like contractors for roofing, landscaping, pools, and more. And joining us right now is Michael Baker. He's with D.A. Davidson, an analyst who covers this company. Michael, what do you think of this deal?
I think it makes sense. Home Depot's strategy has been to go after the pro customer, and not just the pro as we think about it, but the larger complex pro. That's where they probably have the biggest hole in their offering. And so this plays exactly into that strategy. They've been working on building out the complex pro for the last several years. And this, to me, just takes a big step forward in that.
Michael, the reason I wanted to talk to you is because this week you actually downgraded Lowe's. It's not because you don't think that the CEO there, Marvin Ellison, and his team have done a great job. You think that it's going to be tough for them to continue to improve versus Home Depot. And your suggestion, actually, in your note was that they go after the pro segment that Home Depot has been so successful with. If Home Depot completes this acquisition, which it thinks will happen by the end of the year, what does that do to the Home Depot-Lowe's comparison?
Yeah, the call on Lowe's over the last 5 or 6 years, our bullish call has been that Lowe's can close the margin gap versus Home Depot. And they've essentially done that. 85% of the margin gap when Marvin Ellison got to Lowe's has now been closed. Where Lowe's still lags Home Depot is on the pro side, and that's the next step for them. We do think that's harder, though, for Lowe's to close that gap with Home Depot than the margin gap was. And this deal from Home Depot just puts them further ahead, and it makes it that much more difficult for Lowe's to close that gap. Now, they are going after somewhat different pro customers. Home Depot has already built out and has a large market share with the smaller pro. That's where Lowe's really has the incremental opportunity because they are underpenetrated in that smaller pro. But again, because Home Depot already has a strong share with that smaller pro, now Home Depot is compelled to go after a different customer segment, this larger complex pro, much more difficult business. But we think this acquisition really helps them in that way.
As I mentioned, you downgraded Lowe's this week from a buy to a neutral. What's your rating on Home Depot?
We're at neutral as well. Home Depot, obviously a fabulous company, but a pretty high valuation, and we have seen some weakness in the same-store sales over the last couple of years. The stock has actually underperformed the market in each of the last 3 years prior to 2024. It is outperforming a little bit this year, and so it's worth taking a look at, particularly on this acquisition. But we have preferred Lowe in the past, and Lowe's has outperformed Home Depot stock. I think this is an amazing statistic. Lowe's stock has outperformed Home Depot stock 7 years in a row, including 2024. With our downgrade, we now have them both at neutral, and we think maybe there's the opportunity for Home Depot to regain that lead.